This video is my trilogies and duologies that I own all of, but I have not yet read. And I have 23 of them to show you today. That's a lot. So since in the month of July I decided to read the Ruby Red trilogy. Actually, I wanted to read Ruby Red in June, but that didn't happen. So I decided to read the whole trilogy in July, and I have decided to read either a trilogy or a duology each month. And I need some help deciding which ones to choose, so I figured I would make a video showing you guys all of my trilogies and duologies that I have all the books in the series. Series is a lot easier to say than trilogies and duologies over and over again. So let's get started because there's a lot to show you. And this does not include any of the trilogies or duologies that I either own just parts of them, or like If I Stay, I've read If I Stay, but I haven't read Where She Went yet. So I'm not including that in this because I've already read If I Stay. But the first one I have to show you, I cannot show you the covers because explicit, yeah. And it is the, let's see, I need to look up what these are called. Okay, I think these are called the Sleeping Beauty Trilogy by A.N. Roquelaure, or I don't know, it's Anne Rice. And it has The Clammy of Sleeping Beauty, Beauty's Punishment, and Beauty's Release. And it is a classic erotic trilogy of Sleeping Beauty. And I have no explanation for this. I'm gonna put this down now. Moving on. The next, I don't know if this is actually a trilogy or not, but I got it in a box set. And it is the Ender's Game series, I guess. It has Ender's Game, Ender's Shadow, which is a parallel novel to Ender's Game, and Ender in Exile, which is the sequel, direct sequel to Ender's Game. And these are all by Orson Scott Card. Okay, I just looked this up on Goodreads, and apparently it's a quintet. So it doesn't really go along with my trilogy thing. Oh well. Shiny. Sorry. Anyway, I don't really know much about this other than that it is a sci-fi series and it's very popular. So I looked at the synopsis on Goodreads and it's like child soldiers, I think. I'm not sure. I don't really want to look too much into it because sci-fi could possibly get spoiled just with the synopsis. I hate when that happens. The next trilogy I have is the Bones of the Fairy trilogy by Jenny Lee Sumner. It consists of Bones of Fairy, Fairy Winter, and Fairy After. And from what I read on the back, it's about fairies who are not allowed to have magic, I guess. That's what I got. Oh, and some fairy's sister was killed because of magic, I guess. But that's all I know about this trilogy. It has fairies. The next trilogy I have is the Sky Chasers trilogy by Amy Kathleen Ryan, and it consists of Glow, Spark, and Flame. And from what I understand from the little bit that I read in the synopsis, it is like a dystopian sci-fi, I guess. It follows the first generation to be successfully conceived in deep space, is what it says. I don't know much more about it, but it sounded interesting, so I got it. The next trilogy I have is the Fame Game trilogy by Lauren Conrad, and I don't know what order these go in, but it consists of Starstruck, The Fame Game, and Infamous. I'm guessing since it's a Fame Game novel or Fame Game series. I'm guessing the Fame game is supposed to be the first one. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this is about. I guess it's a girl that was in a TV show or something like that, and it talks about when the cameras are turned off, so I have no idea. But it was really cheap, and so I got it. Looking into some of these trilogies, I am wondering why I bought them, except for the fact that they were really cheap. So, yeah. The next trilogy I have is the Gemma Doyle trilogy by Libba Bray, and it consists of A Great and Terrible Beauty, Rebel Angels, and The Sweet Far Thing. And I think this is like a historical fantasy, which sounded very interesting to me. The next trilogy I have is the Delirium trilogy by Lauren Oliver, and I also have the novellas or short stories that go with it. And it consists of Delirium, Pandemonium, Requiem, and the Delirium stories Hannah, Annabelle, and Raven. And these are about a cure for love. I'm guessing that's all I could figure out from the little synopsis that I read. And I don't want to look too much into it because I don't want to get spoiled, but it sounded really interesting, and I've heard some good things and some bad things about it, but I figured I'd give it a shot. The next trilogy I have is the Under the Never Sky trilogy by Veronica Rossi, and it includes Under the Never Sky, Through the Evernight, and Into the Still Blue. And from what I can gather from this, it is a sci-fi romance, I'm guessing. And I got this because I thought I needed to read more sci-fi. The next trilogy I have is the Chemical Garden trilogy by Lauren DeStefano, and it consists of Wither, Fever, and Sever. And this looks like it's kind of a dystopian sci-fi thing. From what I can tell, it's in the future. Males die at around 25 and females die around 20, and they're trying to find a cure for that. And it sounded interesting. The next trilogy I have is the Burn for Burn trilogy by Jenny Han and Swan Vivian, and it consists of Burn for Burn, Fire with Fire, and Ashes to Ashes. And from what I can tell, it is a contemporary trilogy about revenge. The next trilogy I have is the Maze Runner trilogy by James Dashner. I actually have the prequel, The Kill Order, The Maze Runner, Scorched Trials, and The Death Cure. And I actually got these after the movie came out. I haven't watched the movie yet, but I have a movie tie-in edition. And I watched the preview for the movie, and I guess it made me want to read the books. Boys getting thrown into a maze with no memory. That's all I know about it. The next trilogy I have is the Birthright trilogy by Gabrielle Zevin. It consists of All These Things I've Done, Because It Is My Blood, and In the Age of Love and Chocolate. And all I really know about these is what it says on this first book here. Chocolate is contraband, caffeine is illegal, the city is riddled with crime. Anya is born between accepting her birthright and following her heart. And that's all I read to make me want the trilogy. The next trilogy I have is the Wake trilogy by Lisa McMahon, and it consists of Wake, Fade, and Gone. And this trilogy is about a girl who can get into other people's dreams. The next trilogy I have is the Stoneheart trilogy by Charlie Fletcher, and it consists of Stoneheart, Iron Hand, and Silvertongue. And this looks like it is a fantasy based in London, and it has statues coming to life. The next trilogy I have is the Curse Workers trilogy by Holly Black. It consists of Blackheart, Red Glove, and White Cat. And this is another trilogy where magic is illegal. Like the fairy one, they're not allowed to have magic. This one, magic is illegal. And it has a mob boss and stuff in it. So it's got the mob in it. The next trilogy I have is the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy by Jenny Han. And it consists of The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer. And I got them all in this pretty bind up. And I'm going to put this down because it's messing with white balance. But the only thing I know is it's called The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, and I'm guessing it is about the summer that she turned pretty. And I know it's a contemporary, and that's all I know. The next trilogy I have is the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, and it consists of Shadow and Bone, Age and Storm, and Ruin and Rising. And from what I can tell, this is a fantasy adventure trilogy that has war in it. The next trilogy I have is the Modern Fairy Tales trilogy by Holly Black. And again, I don't know what order these go in, but it consists of Tithe, Valiant, and Ironside. And as the title of the trilogy says, it is a modern fairy tale trilogy. So, yeah. The next trilogy I have is the Wolves of Mercy Falls trilogy, or people call it the Shiver trilogy, and it's by Maggie Stiefvater. It consists of Shiver, Linger, and Forever, and these are books about werewolves. I know there is a fourth book, Sinner, that I do not have, but I think this was originally written as a trilogy. I'm not sure. Now the last of the trilogies that I own that are complete is the Shatter Me trilogy by Tahara Mafi. It consists of Shatter Me, Unravel Me, which I haven't hauled yet. This is from my July haul. A little sneak peek for you. Ignite Me, and the novellas Unite Me, which consists of Destroy Me and Fracture Me. And other than the fact that these have freaking awesome covers, it's about a girl who has a death touch. Now, on to the duologies. The first duology I have heard rumors that there's supposed to be a third book coming out for it, but it's only a duology right now. And I don't even know what the name of it is. What was it called? The Books of Fairy by Maggie Stiefvater. The first one is Lament, or the Fairy Queen's Deception. And the second one is Ballad, or A Gathering of Fairy. And all I really know about these books is that they're written by Maggie Stiefvater and they're about fairies. That's all I know. The next duology I have to show you is the Anna duology by Kinder Blake. And it consists of Anna Dressed in Blood and Girl of Nightmares. And as far as I know, this follows a boy who is a ghost hunter, and he runs into Anna, who is a ghost. And the last thing I have to show you today is the Eon duology by Alison Goodman, and it consists of Eon and Iona. And all I know about this is that there is a girl named Iona who wants to learn dragon magic, but dragon magic is forbidden to females, so she dresses up as a boy, Eon, and learns dragon magic. So those are all the complete trilogies or duologies that I own all of, but I have yet to read. So if you have any comments or suggestions, then please let me know. The two that I am currently thinking about reading are the Shatter Me trilogy, which actually this is most likely the next one I'm going to pick up. And I'm also looking into the Grisha trilogy. But again, if you have any comments or any suggestions for what I should look into reading next, then please let me know. and I'll see you next time.